Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to North Hardin High School for today's 17th District fast pitch softball action. Today's ball game has the 5-18 John Hardin Bulldogs coming to take on the 6-12 North Hardin Trojans. I am Bobby Thompson. Tonight's ball game sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Blue Ribbon Renovations, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, E-Town Exterminating, and West Point Bank. It is senior day here at North Hardin High School at a ceremony before tonight's game started. Heading into the starting lineups for John Hardin first. Christine Kettlehake will lead off. She plays third. Designated player Haley Wiley will hit second. Center fielder Samara Neal hits third. Batting cleanup will be Raina Joyner, the shortstop. Patricia Gregory hits fifth and plays first. Mary Beth Richards will be behind the dish tonight for the Bulldogs. She hits sixth. Caitlin Dunn, she hits seventh in the lineup playing left field. Addison Cheney will be in right field hitting eighth. And Kaylee Booth will round out the Bulldogs lineup, and she plays second. Defensively for the Trojans, around the outfield, Beth Latham will be in left field. Rachel Ritchie in center field. Gabby Childers will be in right. Around the infield, Lillian Jones will be at third. Sydney Atkinson will be at shortstop. Carly Atkinson will be at second. Tiffany Kelly will be at first base. And the battery today for the Trojans, behind the dish, Riley Crank. And in the circle, it'll be Emily Fife coming in with a 2-8 record, a 3.41 ERA. She's had 41 innings pitched on the season, 32 strikeouts to just 7 walks. And so now it will be Christine Kettlehake to the plate for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs come in 0-5 in 17th District play. The Trojans 2-3 on the season. First pitch a little too far inside. 1-0 now the count. That one in there for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. We had the Bulldogs last week. Christine Kelly 2 for 4 in that ball. And this one ripped out the middle. That'll be a single into center field. Coach Odessa last week, very aggressive on the base path. Kettlehake on first twice. Took off on the very first pitch in both opportunities and stole second both times. It's going to bring the designated player, Haley Wiley, to the plate for the Bulldogs. To see if Coach stays as aggressive as he has been. Fife ready. Kettlehake takes off. This one's fouled out of play. 0-1 the count. Swing and a miss. Kettlehake heading down to second to throw. Not in time. And Kettlehake will get the stolen base. It was a strike. So 0-2 now the count to Wiley as she digs back in. That'll go outside 1-2. Kettlehake gets a big secondary lead after the pitch leaves Fife's hand. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3 on the outside corner for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring us to the center fielder, Samara Neal. Kettlehake at second in scoring position. This ball game tonight started, scheduled to start 6 o'clock, started half an hour later than most of our 17th District games because of senior night and the ceremony before. Swings through that pitch. Kettlehake takes off for third. As Crank was throwing it back to Fife in the circle, Kettlehake, good read, takes off and she gets third base. I'm just 60 feet away. Neal steps back in, 0-1 the count. And therefore, strike 0-2. That one back up the middle off of 5. Atkinson with it. She'll take it across. Not in time at first, so an infield hit for Neal. It's an RBI as Kettlehake comes in to score. The Bulldogs take a 1-0 lead here in top of the first inning. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Raina Joyner, now to hit for John Hardin. First pitch, Neal takes off, throw down, not in time. As Neal gets stolen base. So with one out, runner at second. Want to know the count to Joyner. She steps back in. Here, come down the line, talk to the home plate umpire. So whatever question the coach had, it is answered. We'll get back to business. Pitch a little too far outside. 2-0 now, the count to Joyner. That one low, 3-0 now, the count. Neal, who reached on an infield single, then stole second. That one high, ball 4. So there'll be runners at first and second with one out. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Patricia Gregory. Beth Richards in the on-deck circle, getting off her shin guards. That one popped up on the infield. Carly Atkinson out. She makes the catch, and they're going to double up Neal at second as she drifted away. So the force out at second base. Well, in the first inning, or top of the first, there was one run on one hit, one runner left on base, and no North Hardin errors as we head to the bottom of the first. John Hardin on top, 1-0. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools, live Channel 1 programming, sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. Blue Ribbon Renovations, offering 0% interest and no payments for 12 months on most home improvement projects. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff. E-Town Exterminate is a locally owned family-run pest control company that's been serving the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. And West Point Bank, let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. Batting order for the Trojans tonight. Carly Atkinson at second base leads off, followed by Beth Latham, the left fielder. Sydney Atkinson, the shortstop, hits third. Hitting cleanup is the third baseman, Lillian Jones. Emily Fife, the pitcher, hits fifth. Rachel Ritchie from center field will hit sixth. Hitting seventh is the first baseman, Tiffany Kelly. Hitting eighth will be the catcher, Riley Crank. And hitting ninth, the right fielder, Gabby Childers. Defensively for the Bulldogs, Caitlin Dunn will be in left field, Samara Neal in center, Addison Cheney will be in right field. Around the infield, it'll be Christine Kettlehake at third, Raina Joyner at shortstop, Kaylee Booth will be at second base, Patricia Gregory at third, and the battery tonight for the Bulldogs. Mary Beth Richards will be behind the plate, and Lillian Wiley will be in the circle. Carly Atkinson comes to the plate. She's hitting .333 on the season. Atkinson hitting from the left side. Kettlehake cheats in from third. That'll go outside. 1-0 the count. That one ripped out towards second, caught by Kaylee Booth. And the line out will be the first out of the day for the Trojans. That's going to bring up left fielder Beth Latham. Latham coming into today's ball game, hitting .250 on the season. That one gets away. 1-0 the count. Swing that one out towards Joyner at short with it cross in time to Gregory for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring us to the shortstop, Sydney Atkinson to the plate. Sydney hitting .385 on the year. That one hit out to Joyner, makes the catch. And two hard hit balls for the Trojans go for naught as it's a 1-2-3 inning. As we head to the top of the second inning, John Hardin on top 1-0 over North Hardin. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Blue Ribbon Renovations, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, E-Town Exterminating, and West Point Bank. We'd also like to thank NHHS, the National Federation of High School Sports, and its support in providing live streaming service. Contact NHHS to subscribe today. All right, as we head into the top of the second inning, it'll be 6, 7, 8 in the Bulldog lineup. Mary Beth Richards, Caitlin Dunn, and Addison Cheney. Richards comes to the plate. Back up the middle. Clean base hit for Richards. Leadoff hitter in both the first and the second for the Bulldogs hit the ball back up the middle for singles. This is going to bring us to the left fielder, Caitlin Dunn. Fouls that one away. 0-1 the count. Swings at that one. Foul off down the third base line. It'll stay foul. So 0-2 the count as Dunn comes back to the plate. That one slow roller down the third base line. Foul. Everybody will go back. We'll reset. Count will remain no balls and 2 strikes. Both of these teams back in action tomorrow. For John Hardin, they will hit the road as they go to Fairdale. And for the Trojans, they'll host Central Hardin tomorrow. This one popped up straight on the infield. 5 calls for it. She'll make the catch for the first out of the inning. Richards will stay at first. That's going to bring us to the right fielder, Addison Cheney. Swings at that pitch. 0-1 the count. Count. Kaylee Booth on deck for the Bulldogs. Strike 3. Second strikeout of the day for Fife. So now with 2 outs, they'll get to the second baseman. Kaylee Booth now to the plate. Going to have a courtesy runner for Richards, which is allowed for pitchers and catchers to speed up the game. That'll be Sarah Siekman at first. Swings through the first pitch. Oh, and 1 the count. Strike 2. Siekman back. Somebody popped up. Could be playable here. It's coming over their third. And there it is. Jones makes the third out of the inning. So a leadoff single, the only hit in the order, and Richards never advanced past first base. As we head to the bottom of the second inning, there were no runs on 1 hit, 1 runner left on base, and no North Hardin errors. Our score after 1.5, John Hardin 1, North Hardin 0. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. Online at physicaltherapyky.com. Blue Ribbon Renovations, offering 0% interest and no payments for 12 months on most home improvement projects. To explore your options, call 270-763-3186. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrapping metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminate is a locally owned, family-run pest control company that's been serving the surrounding area since 1976. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. And West Point Bank, let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple, online at westpointbank.com. It'll be 4, 5, 6 in the Trojan lineup. Lillian Jones, Emily Fife, and Rachel Ritchie. Lillian Wiley will remain in the circle for the Bulldogs. Lillian Jones comes to the plate, sitting 303 on the season. That's going to be hit out to left center field. Neal tracks over and makes the catch right before her and Dunn run into each other. Neal is able to cover basically from right center to left center. Seen her track down many balls this season. That's going to bring us to the pitcher, Emily Fife. She's hitting .355 on the season. That'll be hit out towards center field. Neal racing in on this one and able to make the catch. So back-to-back pop-outs to center field. 2 pitches, 2 outs. And that'll bring us to the center fielder for the Trojans, Rachel Ritchie. She comes into today's ball game hitting .333 on the season. That one will go high. 1-0 the count. A little too far outside. 2-0 now to Ritchie. That's well outside. 3-0 now the count. Too far inside. First walk of the day, first base runner of the day for Lillian Wiley is given up. And that's going to bring us to the first baseman for the Trojans, Tiffany Kelly. She's hitting .250 on the season. And the umpire going over to the North Hardin bench. That'll be fouled off into the John Hardin dugout. 0-1 the count. That was going to be hit for a base hit into left center field. Dunn gets it. Quickly get it back in, so everybody will move up one base. Ritchie goes to second. Tiffany Kelly will be at first with a single. 2 runners on with 2 outs. And we're going to get to the catcher, Riley Crank. Crank comes in hitting .333 on the season. That one fouled up back. Oh, and 1 the count. That one in the dirt. Richards able to keep it in front of her. That'll keep Ritchie at second. 1-1 now the count. That one well outside. 2-1 now the count. We are in the bottom of the second inning. John Hardin on top, 1-0. Richard goes out and quickly has a talk with Lillian Wiley. That one too far up. And now, with 2 walks and a single, the bases are loaded. Rachel Ritchie will be at third, Tiffany Kelly at second, and Riley Crank at first. And we're going to have a substitution for North. A courtesy runner at first base. Miss Davis will be at first base. That pitch catches the inside corner, 0-1. That one outside. Now we're even at 1-1. Takira Davis is the courtesy runner at first. 2-1 now the count. Childers with limited plate appearances in this season. That one's too high. 3-1 now the count. No place to put them. I believe it was Kettle Lake that called time. Wants to go out and talk with her pitcher. Give a little bit of encouragement. Umpire making sure that the on-deck batter is in the on-deck circle instead of back by the dugout, which would be further away, which would give her more time to dodge a ball if it was fouled off at her. 3-1 the count to Childers. She swings at this one out towards second. Both with it quickly over. And that will be the final out on the 4-3 putout. There were no runs on one hit. 3 runners left on base as we head to the top of the third inning. John Hardin remains on top, 1-0 over North Hardin. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Blue Ribbon Renovations, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, E-Town Exterminating, and West Point Bank. As we head to the top of the third inning for the Bulldogs, it'll be 1-2-3 in their lineup. Christine Kettlehake, Haley Wiley, and Samara Neal. Kettlehake 1 for 1 on the day with 2 stolen bases and a run scored. She led off the ballgame with a single to center field. Squares around a bunt, bunts it down the third baseline. It'll stay foul. 0-1 the count. Jones sneaks in from third a little bit more now. That one will go high and away. 1-1 the count. That one too far inside. 2-1 now the count. Jones backed up now. That's in there for a strike. Good changeup from Fife that time. Evens the count at 2-2. As we head out towards center field, Ritchie coming in on it and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. That'll bring us to Haley Wiley, the designated player. She's 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout. We are back on the air tomorrow night, as it'll be baseball action as the North Hardin Trojans travel to the Elizabethtown Panthers. First pitch scheduled for 5:30. Thursday evening, we will also have baseball action as Central Hardin travels to John Hardin, and that game also will have a 5:30 first pitch time. One out. Top of the third, bunting is Wiley. She bunts that one foul. 0-1 the count. Swings through that one. 0-2 now the count. Fife got her looking in the opening inning on an outside pitch. Crank moves a little to the outside. That one high. 1-2 that count. Swings at that. Strike 3. Third strikeout of the day for Emily Fife. That's going to bring up the center fielder, Samara Neal. Neal had an RBI single in the opening and a stolen base, and then a base running error as she took off on a pop fly and then was doubled up as she wasn't able to get back to the base. Swings at that one right to Sydney Atkinson for the third out. So a 1-2-3 inning for Fife on the mound. There were no runs on no hits, no runners left on base, and no North Hardin errors. So we head to the bottom of the third inning. The score remains Bulldogs 1, Trojans 0. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results, with offices located in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville. Blue Ribbon Renovations, offering 0% interest and no payments for 12 months on windows, doors, fences, roofs, decks, siding, and much, much more. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff for all your recycling needs. E-Town Exterminate is a locally owned, family-run pest control company that's been serving Hardin, Meade, Grayson, and Nelson counties since 1976. And West Point Bank, with 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. So we head to the bottom of the third inning. It'll be 1-2-3 in the Trojan order. Carly Atkinson, Beth Latham, and Sydney Atkinson. Lillian Wiley will remain in the circle for the Bulldogs. Carly Atkinson comes to the plate. She's 0 for 1 on the day. She came in to the ball game hitting .333. In the first inning, she lined out to the second baseman for the first out in the top of the first for the Trojans. Acted like she might slap at that when it goes outside. So 1-0 the count. And after that, Kettlehake cheats in. She was right in front of the bag. Now she's about 2 or 3 steps in front. Atkinson does bunt this one right back to Wiley. Not going to get there in time. The ball goes into right field. Atkinson turns the corner. She heads for second. Rounds it. Now she's going to come to third as the ball just gets back into the infield. And so on a single, she then gets second and third on the throwing error. So with no outs, Beth Latham comes to the plate. Latham ground out in her only at bat today. Came into today's ball game hitting .250 on the season. That one gets away from Richards. Coming in is Atkinson. Ooh, got hit in the back as Richardson tried to throw it to home. But on the passed ball, Carly Atkinson ties up the ball game at 1 apiece. So now Latham will step in with a 1-0 count, no one on. Squares to bunt. This one actually hit the bat while she was still in the batter's box. Bounced right up. So the count will go to 1-1 now. She does bunt this one. Kettlehake scoops it up. Over in time. The 5-4 put out as Booth was covering first base for the first out. That's going to bring us to the shortstop, Sydney Atkinson. She's 0 for 1 on the day. She lined out to the shortstop in her only at bat. That one too high. 1-0 the count. That one too far inside. 2-0 now the count. So he popped up on the infield. Booth calling for it and makes the catch. For the second out of the inning, that's going to bring us to the third baseman, Lillian Jones. Jones flew out to left center field in her first at bat. Came into today's ball game hitting .303 on the year. That one low. 1-0 the count. And tomorrow we're back in action. 5:30 League Baseball as North Hardin travels to Elizabethtown. That one too far in. 3-0 now the count. For these two teams today, they will both be back in action tomorrow. John Hardin will travel to Fairdale while North Hardin will host the Central Hardin Bruins. It'll be hit foul down the third baseline. Coach Blair knocked it down. Two and one now the count as Jones steps back in. So we hit towards right center field. Neal not going to be able to get there. Neal going to get it in, so it'll be a single for Jones. And with 2 outs, runner in at first base for North Hardin. So we come to the pitcher, Emily Fife. Fife came into today's ball game hitting .355. She's 0 for 1 on the day with a fly out. We have a pinch runner coming in for North Hardin. Number 33, Merriweather. Adriana Merriweather at first base will run for Jones. And most likely at the end of this inning, Jones will enter back in. That one, that's in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. That one low. 1-1 the count. That was to be hit towards center and going to get into right field. Fife with the base hit. Merriweather round second is heading for home. And no throw to the plate as Merriweather comes around on the end up being an RBI double as Fife will be out at second base. And the Trojans take a 2-1 lead. As now it'll be Rachel Ritchie coming to the plate. Courtesy runner again for North Hardin. Adelot. If we can get her first name. Kayana. Ritchie 0 for 0 on the day. She reached on a walk, was later stranded at third. That'll be out towards left center field. Going back deep on it is Neal. Right at the track, makes the catch for the third out of the inning. But not before the Trojans were able to scratch 2 across on 3 hits, 1 runner left on base, and 1 John Hardin error. Through 3 complete, the Trojans now on top 2-1 over John Hardin. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Blue Ribbon Renovations, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, E-Town Exterminating, and West Point Bank. So we head into the top of the fourth inning. It'll be 4-5-6 in the Bulldog order. Raina Joyner, Patricia Gregory, and Mary Beth Richards. Emily Fife will remain in the circle for the Trojans. She's given up 3 hits on the night. Also has 3 strikeouts. Raina Joyner comes up. Joyner 0 for 0 as she walked in her only at bat. This one will be hit back up the middle. Diving Carly Atkinson, not able to get to it, so it'll be a single for Joyner. That's going to bring up Patricia Gregory. Gregory 0 for 1. She had a fly out in the first inning. That one's a strike in the top of the zone. Wood won the count. That one too high. 1-1 the count. That'll be hit out towards Sydney Atkinson. Quick pitch over to Carly. Tries to turn 2, not going to be able to do it. They get the lead runner out. Joyner at second, 6-4. It'll be a fielder's choice as Gregory will be at first base. That's going to bring us to the catcher, Mary Beth Richards. She led off the second inning with a base hit. Was stranded there at first. That's fouled off almost into the North Hardin dugout. 0-1 the count. One out, runner at first. Top of the fourth inning, 2-1, North Hardin on top. Richard pops this one up on the infield. Sydney Atkinson will take it. Gregory goes back to first. So with 2 outs, it'll be the left fielder, Caitlin Dunn, to the plate. Dunn popped out to the pitcher in her only at bat. That'll be hit out towards Carly Atkinson, up with it. Shuffles it over for the 3rd out of the inning. So for the Bulldogs, there were no runs on 1 hit, 1 runner left on base, and no North Hardin errors as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Trojans on top, 2-1 over the Bulldogs. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, for personal attention for more effective results, online at physicaltherapyky.com. Blue Ribbon Renovations is offering 0% interest and no payments for 12 months. To explore your options, call 270-763-3186. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrapping metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned family-run pest control company that's been serving the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. And West Point Bank, let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple, online at westpointbank.com. It'll be 7-8-9 in the Trojan lineup. Tiffany Kelly, Riley Crank, and Gabby Childers. Lillian Wiley still in the circle for the Bulldogs. So Tiffany Kelly comes to the plate. She's 1 for 1 on the day with a single. That one will be hooked foul over the third base dugout. 0-1 count. Strike 2. That was in the top of the zone. Swings at that one. That'll be fouled off. Rolls over near the third base dugout. Count will remain no balls and 2 strikes. That'll be hit just over in fair territory as it goes just over Gregory's head. And so Tiffany Kelly on senior night, 2 for 2. Back-to-back singles. That's going to bring us to the catcher, Riley Crank. Crank 0 for 0 on the day. She reached on a walk in her only at-bat. Looks like they're going to put in a pinch runner for Kelly. Be number 8 coming out. Miss Howard. Landry Howard will be the pinch runner for Kelly. Last inning, when they substituted Merriweather for Jones, worked out real well as she was able to come around and score the second run. That pitch in there for a strike. Big secondary lead for Howard from first. Oh, and 1 the count as Crank steps back in. That one too far inside. Snap throw down to first, not in time as Howard dives back in. That one too high. 2-1 now the count. Pops this one up in foul territory. Not going to be able to get to it as Gregory's. It lands right in front of the North Hardin bench. That'll even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's going to be hit out towards Booth. She'll scoop it up. She'll take the short route and get Crank at first, but that's going to get Howard out to second base. So with 1 out, a runner in scoring position as we get to Gabby Childers, the right fielder. She's 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out. Yeah, for the Trojans tomorrow night, they're right back here. 5:30 first pitch time as they will take on 17th District rival Central Hardin. For the Bulldogs, they will hit the road tomorrow as they will travel to Louisville to take on the Fairdale Bulldogs. That one hit right back at Wiley, unable to cleanly field it. And so on the error, Childers will be at first, and Howard will be at third. Runners at the corners, 1 out as we hit to the back to the top of the lineup. Carly Atkinson 1 for 2 on the day. She had an infield hit. The ball was thrown over the first baseman's head. She was able to get all the way around to third, and then on a pass ball, able to get in and score the first run for the Trojans. Last inning, there's another pass ball. Here comes Howard. She'll slide in safe for the third run of the day for the Trojans. So twice pinch runners have come around to score. Childers moves out to second. So Coach Odessa going to come out and talk to his defense. Again, we're back in action tomorrow night as we will have baseball action from Elizabethtown. They will host the North Hardin Trojans. First pitch scheduled for a 5:30 start time, and then on Thursday, we'll stay with baseball. We'll head over to John Hardin as they will host the Central Hardin Bruins. Lillian Wiley will remain in the circle for the Bulldogs. Sydney Atkinson now comes to the plate. That pitch too high. 2-0 now the count. That one will be bunted out toward, and some miscommunication between, and good job by Atkinson. No one at second base. She gets all the way around. So it'll go down as an infield single after Wiley and Kettlehake both look at each other to pick it up. Childers will be at third. And that'll bring us to the left fielder, Beth Latham. Latham 0 for 2 on the day with a pair of groundouts. 1 out, 2 runners in scoring position for the Trojans. Trojans have already put 1 across the board in this inning. Real aggressive that time by Latham. That was high. Chases after it. 1-1 now the count. That one too far inside. 2-1 now the count. Bunts that one foul. That'll even the count at 2-2. That one will be fouled down the third baseline. Stays inside the ballpark. Count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Gabby Childers at third. Carly Atkinson at second. That one high. And we'll go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Strike 3 for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring us to the shortstop, Sydney Atkinson. Atkinson 0 for 2 on the day. She has a line out and a fly out. And runners at second and third. That one too high. 1-0 the count. That one gets away from Richards, but not far away. Childers will stay. 2-0 the count. That one high and tight. 3-0 now the count. On deck for the Trojans, Lillian Jones. That catches the inside corner. Count runs to 3-1. And there's ball 4 on the inside, so the bases are loaded. Gabby Childers at third. Sydney Atkinson at second, Carly Atkinson at second, Sydney Atkinson at first, and Lillian Jones comes to the plate. She's 1 for 2 on the day. They fly out to center field in a single. A visit to Wiley in the circle. Staying in the game is Merriweather. Sorry. I thought Jones had checked back in. So Adriana Merriweather at the plate. That one goes well outside. She lets it go. Merriweather hitting .263 on the season. That one too high. 2-0 now the count. That'll be hit. Gets under the glove of Kettle Lake. 1 run is in. Here comes the second run. Carly Atkinson, she slides across. And it's a 2 RBI single by Adriana Merriweather. Sydney Atkinson will stop at second. And that's going to bring up the pitcher, Emily Fife. Fife, 1 for 2 on the day. She's an RBI double and a flyout. And the Trojans now lead 5-1 over the Bulldogs. Scoreless in the first 2 innings. They put 2 across in the third and now 3 across here in the 4th inning. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. That one will get over the head of Richards. Everybody will move up. Sydney Atkinson now to third. Merriweather at second. That one low. 3-0 now, the count to Fife. That'll go high, and we're going to be loaded. So now the 9th batter of the inning comes to the plate as Rachel Ritchie. Ritchie 0 for 1 on the day, so they fly out and did reach on a walk. That one will be fouled off down the third base line. Coach Blair with foot skills actually stopped it with her foot. Oh, and 1 as Ritchie steps back in. That one hits her third. Kettlehake gets the snag out of the air for the third out of the inning. But the Trojans sent 9 batters to the plate. 3 of them score. There were 3 runs on 3 hits. 3 runners left on base. And 1 John Hardin error as we head to the top of the 5th inning. North Hardin now on top 5-1 over John Hardin. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Blue Ribbon Renovations, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, E-Town Exterminating, and West Point Bank. As we head into the top of the 5th inning, it'll be 8-9-1 in the Bulldog order. Addison Cheney, Kaylee Booth, and Christine Kettlehake. Emily Fife remains in the circle for the Trojans. Addison Cheney 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout. Swings through that one, 0-1. Fouls that one straight back. 0-2 now the count. Fouls this one straight back. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. As we head out towards right field, Childers coming on, unable to make the catch. So that'll go down as a single on that one. But with no outs, we will get to Kaylee Booth. Booth 0 for 1 on the day with an infield fly. That one high and away, 1-0. That's in there for us. 1 now the count. That one inside, ball 4. So that'll get Cheney to go down to second. So there are no outs, 2 runners on as we get back to the top of the order for the Bulldog. Christine Kettlehake now to the plate. Kettlehake 1 for 2 on the day with a single, a couple of stolen bases, and the only run scored for the Bulldogs. She also flew out to center field. First pitch in there for a strike. That'll be hit out towards right field. Gets just under the glove of Carly Atkinson. Dunn rounds third. She's going to come home. Cheney rounds third and comes home. Dunn gets over to third base. So an RBI single for Kettlehake. 3 runners up, 3 runners on. So now we will get to Haley Wiley, the designated player for the Bulldogs. She's 0 for 2 on the day with a pair of strikeouts. Kettlehake at first, you've got to think, is going to go on the first pitch. Fife gets the play call. And a bunt down the third base line. Merriweather touches it, unable to go anywhere with it. And now throws it off of Kettlehake's foot. And for North Hardin, probably very fortunate that didn't bounce away into the outfield. Now we're going to have a timeout for North Hardin. Kaylee Booth able to score. So 2 runs here in the 5th inning for the Bulldogs, no outs. Merriweather, she got to it, unable to cleanly pick it up. Again, both of these teams back in action tomorrow. John Hardin will travel to Fairdale. And for the Trojans, they will stay at home. This time they will host the Central Hardin Bruins. Tomorrow night we will be at Elizabethtown for baseball action as the Panthers will host the Trojans of North Hardin. First pitch scheduled for 5:30. Samara Neal now to the plate. Neal 1 for 2 on the day. She had an RBI single. Kettlehake big lead at second again. Takes off for third on the throwback from the catcher to the pitcher. And she gets the stolen base. And behind her, Haley Wiley moves up. Third stolen base of the day for Kettlehake. And so with no outs, 2 runners in scoring position. The Trojans up 5-3, but the Bulldogs threatening. Neal fouls that one straight back. This will be fouled out as well. Just goes over the netting. 0-2 the count to Neal. Strike 3. First out of the inning. 4th strikeout of the day for Fife. That's going to bring us to the shortstop. Raina Joyner. 0 for 1 on the day. She reached on a walk. And then, actually, she's 1 for 1. She's a single and a walk. Fouls this one over the third base dugout. 0-1 the count. That one catches the inside corner. 0-2 the count. That one high. 1-2 the count now to Joyner. So now we're ready. Fife gets pitch call from the dugout. 1-2 the count. That'll go outside. 2-2. And 2. That one well outside, and we'll go full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That one ripped down the third base line. A base hit into left field. Latham up with it. 1 run is in. Here comes the second, and we're all tied at 5. As it'll be a 2 RBI double for Raina Joyner. As that brought in Kettlehake from third and Wiley from second. And the Bulldogs here in the top of the 5th inning with 4 runs across the board to tie it up at 5 apiece. For John Hardin, they were able to score in the opening inning. Christine Kettlehake had a single, stole second, stole third, then was brought in on a single by Samara Neal. In the 3rd inning, it was the Trojans getting on board as Carly Atkinson had a single and advanced around and on a pass ball scored. Later, Adriana Merriweather scored on a base hit by Emily Fife, and the Trojans were up 2-1. In the 4th inning, the Trojans able to put 3 across the board. Carly Atkinson scored her 2nd run of the day. Tiffany Kelly and Gabby Childers each came in, and North Hardin led 5-1. And here in the top of the 5th inning, the Bulldogs able to put 4 across the board. The first 4 hitters for the Bulldogs in this 5th inning all got on, and all have come in to score. Addison Cheney with a single. Kaylee Booth had a walk. Christine Kettlehake with a single, and Haley Wiley reached on an error. And then a strikeout for the only out in the inning, and Raina Joyner then hits a 2-run double to tie it up at 5 apiece. Going into the lineup for the Trojans is Sydney Atkinson. So we'll get her numbers on the season. She's 2-3 on the season with a 4.44 ERA. Has 23 2/3 innings pitched. She has 20 strikeouts to just 4 walks on the year. She will face Patricia Gregory. Gregory 0 for 2 on the day. She popped out and reached on a fielder's choice. That one well outside. 2-0 now the count. That one well outside as well. Creighton does a good job to keep that one in. 3-0 now the count as Gregory digs back in. That one does get away. And Joyner will trot down to third as Gregory reaches on the walk. Defensively for the Trojans, after Fife came out as pitcher, she goes over to third base. Adriana Merriweather, who was at third, moves to shortstop as Sydney Atkinson comes in to pitch. But with runners at the corners and only one out, Mary Beth Richards now to the plate. Richards 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a fly out. That one well outside as well, gets away. Gregory was going on the pitch. She'll go down there. Craig got to it pretty quickly. Joyner held up at third. So Atkinson struggling to find the strike zone as she comes in relief. Top of the fifth inning with one out. We're all tied at 5 apiece. That one goes outside as well. 2-0 now the count. That one gets in there for a strike. 2-1 now. The count to Richards. That one outside. 3-1. That one's outside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks given up by Sydney Atkinson. And now the base is loaded. So we get to the 9th batter of the inning for the Bulldogs. It'll be left fielder Caitlin Dunn. Dunn 0 for 2 on the day. She popped out to the pitcher and grounded out to the second baseman. The infield for the Trojans cheats in. Going to try to cut down the run at home plate. That's in there for a strike. That one fouled off. 0-2 now the count. That'll be fouled out of play as well. About 10 pitches we've seen from Atkinson. Almost every one of her pitches will curve into that left-handed batter's box. It's gotten in on the hands of Dunn the last 2 pitches. 0-2 the count. That time hit her. And that will force in Joyner from third. That's going to move Gregory up to third. Richards to second. So it's been 2 walks and a hit batter for Atkinson. That's going to get us back to Addison Cheney. Cheney 1 for 2 on the day with a single, and she scored the first run of this 5th inning. That one fouled away. Cheney steps back in. That gets the outside corner. 0-2 the count. That'll go outside, 1-2. No place to put him. That's well outside as well. 2-2 now the count. Fouls this one straight back. Stays alive, 2-2. That one inside, 3-2. Slow roller up the line. Fife with it over in time for the second out, but it does score a run. Fife able to gather that in and quickly get it across the infield to Tiffany Kelly, the first baseman. But Patricia Gregory comes in to score for the Bulldogs. Mary Beth Richards moves up to third. Caitlin Dunn will be at second base. And we'll get to Kaylee Booth. Booth 0 for 1 on the day. She reached on a walk and scored. That one in the dirt. Riley Crank, another good job blocking. Want to know the count. That one too high, 2-0 now to Booth. That catches the outside corner. Two and one the count. Swings through that one. Now we're evened up at 2-2. Now everybody's set. That goes outside. 3-2 now the count. Christine Kettlehake waits on deck for the Bulldogs. Strike three. The inside part of the plate. For the Bulldogs, though, able to put 6 runs across on 3 hits. 2 runners left on base and 1 North Hardin error as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. After putting 6 on the board, the Bulldogs on top 7-5 over North Hardin. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools live Channel 1 programming, sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs, physical therapy associates, or personal attention for more effective results. With locations in Elizabethtown, Hodgenville, Radcliffe, and South Louisville. Blue Ribbon Renovations, offering 0% interest and no payments for 12 months on windows, doors, fences, roofs, decks, siding, and much, much more. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices and pickup service, and a friendly staff available for all your recycling needs. Located in Elizabethtown on 31W, just south of exit 91 off Interstate 65. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned family-run pest control company. Whatever your pest control issues are, termites, spiders, crickets, general pests, even moles, their team has the knowledge, skill, and training to safely and effectively eliminate the problem. And West Point Bank, 5 offices located in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Upton, Glendale, and West Point. Let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. Into the top of the fifth inning, it'll be 7-8-9 in the Trojan lineup. Tiffany Kelly, Riley Crank, and Gabby Childers. First hit by Kelly right to Kettleegg. Scoops in across the inning. Across the infield, sorry. Kelly been 2 for 2. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Riley Crank. Crank 0 for 1 on the day. Ground out, she reached on a walk. That pitch high. Wiley believing that was in there for a strike. That'll be hit back up the middle. Joyner ranges over, gets it. Across the infield to Gregory. 2 up, 2 down, both with ground outs to the left side. That's going to bring us to the right fielder, Gabby Childers. Childers 0 for 2 on the day. She did reach on an error. Came around to score. That one catches the inside corner. That one high. 1-1 now, the count. That's on the inside corner. 1-2 now, the count. Bulldogs scored 1 in the first, 6 in the 5th inning. For the Trojans, they scored 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th. So we're here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Really fouled down the third base line. That'll be ripped down the third base line. Kettleegg knocks it down. Not in time. The infield hit for Gabby Childers. So with 2 outs, there'll be a runner at first as we go back to the top of the order for the Trojans. Carly Atkinson now to the plate. Atkinson 2 for 3 on the day with a pair of singles and 2 runs scored. Going back up the middle. Joyner not going to be able to get to this one, and the 3rd single of the day for Carly Atkinson. Actually, 3rd single in consecutive innings. One in the 3rd, 4th, and now in the 5th. Childers will be at second base, so with 2 outs, 2 runners on for the Trojans. The left fielder, Beth Latham, comes to the plate. Latham 0 for 3 on the day. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout. Strikeout. That one low, 1-0 the count. I'll be out towards the shortstop. Joyner misplays it. Everybody's going to be safe. So the base is loaded now with 2 outs. So the error on the shortstop is going to extend this inning. And now to be Sydney Atkinson, the pitcher for the Trojans. She's 0 for 2 on the day. Pair of flyouts, and she reached on a walk. That'll be hit. Gets under Kettlehake. Joyner knocks it down, but everybody will be safe. The infield hit for Atkinson, and an RBI cuts the Bulldog lead to 1. As Childers comes in for the second time today. And now it'll be Carly Atkinson at third, Beth Latham at second, and Sydney Atkinson at first. Adriana Merriweather now to the plate. Merriweather 1 for 1 on the day with a 2 RBI single in her last at bat. That'll be fouled away. That one catches the inside corner. 0-2 now the count. So with 2 outs, bases loaded. Lillian Wiley in the circle. That one actually hits. Get an RBI. She's hit by the pitch. And went from 0-2 to being hit by a pitch. That's going to bring in Carly Atkinson from third, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. Latham will move up to third. Sydney Atkinson will be out at second. We have a meeting on the mound. See if they make a pitching change here or not. Looks like it'll be Lillian Wiley staying in the ball game. First 2 batters of this inning got out both on ground outs. Then a single by Childers, a single by Carly Atkinson. Latham induces an error. She gets on. We have an RBI by Sydney Atkinson and an RBI by Adriana Merriweather. That one almost hit Fife. Fife 1 for 2 on the day. That's an RBI double and a walk. That'll be high. Richards does a good job getting that one. 2-0 now the count. That one's going to be hit into shallow center field. 1 run is in. Sydney Atkinson rounds third. She's going to come in as well. Merriweather gets all the way to third. So a 2 RBI single by Emily Fife. Her second and third RBIs of the day. Latham scores for the first time. Sydney Atkinson scores for the first time as well. And now the Trojans up by 2. So 2 outs, runners at the corners, and we have the 9th batter of this 5th inning for North Hardin. Rachel Ritchie now to the plate. Ritchie 0 for 2 on the day. She reached on a walk and has a fly out, and she lined out to end the 4th inning. That's going to be hit towards center field. Neal coming on, makes a diving catch for the 3rd out of the inning. Atkinson hit back-to-back ball, Ritchie hit back-to-back balls hard One caught by the third baseman. That one, diving catch in center field to end the Trojans' fifth inning, but not before they put 4 across the board on 3 hits. 2 runners left on base and 1 John Hardin error as we head to the 6th inning. North Hardin back on top, 9-7 over John Hardin. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, Physical Therapy Associates, Blue Ribbon Renovations, Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, E-Town Exterminating, and West Point Bank. We'd also like to thank NHHS, the National Federation of High School Sports, in its support of providing live streaming service. Contact NFHS.com to subscribe today. Come back to the top of the 6th inning. For the Bulldogs, it'll be 1, 2, 3 in their lineup. Christine Kettlehake, Haley Wiley, and Samara Neal. Sydney Atkinson remains in the circle for the Trojans. Owen won the count. So we hit towards left field coming in as Latham's going to land in front of her. Kettlehake with her 3rd single of the day. Kettlehake already with 3 stolen bases on the day. As they're going to bring up Haley Wiley. Wiley's 0 for 3 on the day. It's a pair of strikeouts. Reached on an error. That was also an RBI. Came around to score a run. Fake the bunt, throw down to second. Ball was there. Merriweather unable to gather it in before Kettlehake slides. And so the 4th stolen base of the day for Christine Kettlehake. And the Bulldogs with a runner in scoring position. Not sure if Miley attempted at the bunt. Swings through that one. Strike. This is where Kettlehake has given the Trojans some fits as she has stolen. The count's 1 ball, 1 strike. Stolen 3rd twice when on the throwback. Here she goes again. Atkinson quickly going to throw to her. Not in time. And Kettlehake, 5th stolen base on the day. 3 stolen bases. 3 times she has stolen 3rd base. So as she gets on 1 and 2 the count to Wiley. That'll go outside. 2 and 2 now the count. Ooh, that almost hit Wiley. Run the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Swings through that one, strikeout. First out of the inning. 2nd strikeout of the day for Sydney Atkinson. That's going to bring us to the center fielder, Samara Neal. Neal 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI single and 1 stolen base. That one high, 1-0. Atkinson has been consistently on the outer half of the plate to the right-handed batters for the Bulldogs. That one catches the outside corner as a wide outside corner. Seems as the game has gone on, the width of the strike zone has increased. That one will be chopped up the middle. Merriweather over. Not able to get it, so on the error, but it'll be an RBI for Neal, as Kelhake will come in to score. It's just a one-run ball game. And we'll get into the shortstop, Raina Joyner. Joyner 2 for 2 on the day with a single, a 2 RBI double, and also reached on a walk. Neal takes off first pitch. Throw down not in time, kicked away. Now Neal going to take off for third. Childers gets to it. She'll throw it into Atkinson. But the stolen base, and then advances up on the error as the throw went off Merriweather's foot as she was trying to get over. So with one out, a runner at third, as Joyner will dig back in. 1-0 the count. Swings and misses at that one. A couple of times today, Riley Crank has put the ball right near the bag before the runner's gotten there, but the width of the middle infielders for the Trojans hasn't given them enough time to get to the bag to make a tag successfully on the Bulldog runners. Yes, she did. 1-2 now the count. Joyner tried to stop her swing, unable to. That one well outside. 2-2 now the count. Swings and misses on that one. Second out of the inning. Third strikeout for Atkinson. So now with 2 outs and a runner at third, first baseman Patricia Gregory comes to the plate. Gregory 0 for 2 on the day. A fly out, reached on a fielder's choice, and walked later to come around to score. That one out of the strike zone, 1-0. Swing and a miss. Evens it up at 1-1. That one on the outside corner. 1-2 now the count to Gregory. Strike 3. Atkinson strikes out the side, but the Bulldogs able to put one across on 1 run on 1 hit, 1 runner left on base, and 2 North Hardin errors as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Trojans on top, 9-8 over the Bulldogs. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. Online at physicaltherapyky.com. Blue Ribbon Renovations, offering 0% interest and no payments for 12 months on most home improvement projects. To explore your options, call 270-763-3186. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff. Call 270-982-7206 to talk to someone about scrapping metal and recycling. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned, family-run pest control company that's been serving the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. Call 270-737-6900 or go online at mugabug.com. And West Point Bank, Let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. Online at westpointbank.com. Bottom of the sixth, it'll be 7, 8, 9 in the Trojan lineup. Tiffany Kelly, Riley Crank, and Gabby Childers. Lillian Wiley remains in the circle for the Bulldogs as Tiffany Kelly comes to the plate. She's 2 for 3 on the day with a pair of singles and a run scored. Hits that one into left field. Tracking over is done. She'll call for it. Makes the catch for the first out of the inning. That'll bring us to the catcher, Riley Crank. Crank 0 for 2 on the day. She reached on a walk and has a pair of ground outs. That one low. 1-0. That one too high. 2-0 now the count. That one well too high. 3-0 now. And there it is, a 4-pitch walk to Crank. She'll trot down. We're going to get a courtesy runner. Adela now at first base. Getting courtesy runners for pitchers and catchers. That one actually bounced up and hit Childers, so she'll trot down to first. Adelot will get over to second. Get a chance to say that Childers was 1 for 3 on the day with 2 runs scored. So with 1 out, we'll head to the top of the lineup for the Trojans. Carly Atkinson now to the plate. Atkinson, 3 for 4 on the day. Hit the ball really hard. Her first at-bat lined out to the second baseman. Her last 3 at-bats, singles in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings, and runs scored in each of those. Booth going to start scooting in from second base in case there is a bunt here. If you bunt it in this situation, what about towards third? Make Kettlehake make a play. There is the bunt. That's going to go foul. One and one the count. That one popped up down the third base line. Kettlehake gives chase just off the tip of her glove. Count will go to 1 and 2 now as Carly Atkinson comes back. That one low. 2 and 2 now the count. Now the Bulldogs will pinch in at the corners. That's with 2 strikes, less chance for her to bunt the ball. Hits this one right back up the middle. Definite single. 4 singles in a row for Carly Atkinson. Adelaide comes in to score, and it's back to a... Oh, now they throw it, and Childers doesn't see it as she was heading back to second. Now she'll come to third. So a 2-run lead now for the Trojans. Childers will now end up on third after the throwing error. Atkinson with the single. She advances to second on an error. And the John Hardin players are going to have a meeting on the mound. Umpire's going to say you've had too many meetings. Break it up. So we'll go to Beth Latham as she comes to the plate. Latham 0 for 4 on the day. She did reach on an error in her last at-bat and later came around to score. So Childers at third, Carly Atkinson at second. 1 out. That's one fouled straight back to us. Almost reached the press box. Oh, and 1 the count. Latham steps back in. Lillian Wiley been in the circle the entire night for the Bulldogs. On hard hit, that'll get into left field. 1 run is in. Atkinson rounds third. She'll score easily. It's an RBI single for Latham. 2 RBI single. She advances up on the throw. Childers scores and Carly Atkinson. So 3 runs across here in the 6th inning. As Sydney Atkinson comes to the plate. 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI and a run scored. That one gets away, and Latham will move up to third. That one hit down the third base line, but it goes foul. That'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. That goes outside. 3-1 now. Three and one as Atkinson steps back in. That'll be fouled off down the third base line. Coach Bailey a little too slow on that one. Wasn't able to get over to it. There's ball 4. So Sydney Atkinson will be at first. She just turns the corner and trots right down to second. Latham at third. 1 out, and this is going to bring us to Adriano Merriweather. Merriweather 1 for 1 on the day. She has 3 RBIs. She's also hit by a pitch. Swings at that one. It gets away. Latham coming in. She'll score standing up. Sydney Atkinson moves up to third. Pitch was a strike as Merriweather attempted at the ball. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's been a back and forth game. John Hunter scored in the opening inning. The Trojans didn't answer until the 3rd. At the end of the 4th inning, the Trojans had a 5-1 lead. Bulldogs able to put 6 across the board in the top of the 5th. And then it was the Trojans who came back with 4 in the bottom of the 5th. Trojans put another one across in the top of the 6th, and now the Trojans with 4 already. Merriweather fouls that one off down the third baseline. One and two the count. That one outside, gets away. Runner for third comes in, safe. So the 5th run of the inning. And that one hits Merriweather as she switched from left-handed to right-handed after the 2 outs. Second time in a row she's been hit by a pitch, and she'll go to first. As now it'll be Emily Fife coming to the plate. Fife on the day 2 for 3. She has 3 RBIs, a single and a double. That one in the dirt. Merriweather heads down to second. She slides in safely. One and 0 the count to Fife. Hits this one just over the first baseman's head into right field. Merriweather turns. There won't even be a throw home. And it's a RBI double for Emily Fife, her second of the day. 4 RBIs on the day now for the North Hardin senior. Started at pitchers, now at third. And we're bringing up to the 9th hitter of the inning as Rachel Ritchie will come to the plate. I think we're going to have a pitching change. Mary Beth Richards has gone back into the dugout. Designated player Haley Wiley now walks out near the circle. And it will be Mary Beth Richards coming out to pitch. We'll have to see who is going to be moving to catching position. So Haley Wiley was the designated player in for Lillian Wiley, the pitcher. So Wiley will come in and go to second base. I don't know if that means that Kaylee Booth will now become the catcher. Well, the assistant coaches for the Bulldogs warming up Richards. See which Bulldog this is. Raina Joyner, the shortstop, will now go and become the catcher. As Kaylee Booth moved actually to shortstop, as Joyner will now go behind the plate. So Emily Fife heads back out to second base. With one out, it'll be Rachel Ritchie coming to the plate. Ritchie 0 for 3 on the day. She did reach on a walk. It's a pair of flyouts to center field as she lined out to the third baseman. That'll be fouled off down the first base side. Oh, and 1 the count. That one catches the outside corner. It's been a strike all night. Keeps getting wider and wider. 0 and 2 the count now. That one too far outside. 1 and 2. As she slow roller down the third base line, it'll go foul. One and 2 the count, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning. North Hardin on top, 15-8. Emily Fife at second. Rachel Ritchie at the plate. This one popped up. Joyner turns around, gets the catch. So now Tiffany Kelly down to the plate. Kelly 2 for 4 on the day with pairs of singles and a run scored. Swing and miss on that one. Joyner kept it in front of her. 1 and 1 now the count. As we hit to right field, it'll be another base hit for Kelly. Cheney cuts it off, but it'll be an RBI single as Emily Fife comes in. And that's going to take us to Riley Crank. Crank over 2 on the day. She's reached on 2 walks and has a run scored. Swing to this one, popped up. Booth calls for it, drops it. So E6 will continue the inning. Kelly will be at second. T. Davis comes into the ball game at first base. She'll be the courtesy runner for Crank. And that'll bring us to Gabby Childers. Childers 1 for 3 on the day. She's reached on an error, been hit by a pitch, and has 3 runs scored. Somebody hit out towards center field. Neal coming in, not going to be able to get to it. She's going to throw home, and Kelly just gets in. So an RBI single for Childers. She advances up to second on the throw as Kelly comes in. Davis now at third base, and we get back to the top of the order. One more run for the Trojans in this inning, and the game will be over. Carly Atkinson now to the plate. Atkinson lined out in her first at-bat, and then third, fourth, fifth, and sixth inning has had a single and a run scored. 4 for 5 on the day. That goes outside. 1-0. That one way high. Joyner does a good job catching it. Keep Davis at third. That one, another good job by Joyner to get that one. That one took a couple of bounces before it got to her. 3-0 now the count. There's ball 4, and they'll be loaded up. And now it'll be Beth Latham coming to the plate. Latham 1 for 5 on the day. She's reached on an error, has a pair of RBIs and a pair of runs scored. That one high and away. 1-0 the count. That catches the outside corner. 1-1 now the count. That one low. 2-1. This one will be ripped into left field, and that's going to do it. As the RBI single for Beth Latham will end the ball game as Davis comes across the plate. And on senior night, the Trojans take the 18-8 victory over the John Hardin Bulldogs. This is a Hardin County Educational and Community Television student production. HCEC-TV is a division of Hardin County Schools. Live Channel 1 programming sponsored in part by Brandenburg Telecom, providing service for all your telecommunication needs. Physical Therapy Associates, more personal attention for more effective results. Blue Ribbon Renovations, offering 0% interest and no payments for 12 months on most home improvement projects. Waddell's Auto and Scrap Metal Recycling, a family-owned business with competitive prices, pickup service, and a friendly staff. E-Town Exterminating is a locally owned, family-run pest control company that's been serving Hardin, Meade, Grayson, and Nelson counties and the surrounding areas of Kentucky since 1976. And West Point Bank. Let us help make life simpler. Hometown banking made simple. Again, we're back on the air tomorrow night At 5:30, it'll be baseball action as the North Hardin Trojans travel to take on the Elizabethtown Panthers. For all of our workers here at HCEC-TV that make this possible, I am Bobby Thompson saying so long and good night.